So Elon Musk is having a terrible day and a total meltdown and basically tweeting out to everyone how sad he is. So yes, you heard that correctly. Elmo is sad. From Elon Musk, he says, whoever said money can't buy happiness really knew what they were talking about. Sad face, right? And this is like 109 million views on this thing. Elon Musk, the supposed richest dude, the supposed smartest dude, the supposed greatest genius in all time, talking about money can't buy happiness. And remember, he wants his $1 trillion payday, right? Wants to be the first trillionaire. Here's the thing. He's losing badly. And he's basically abandoning Tesla and going off to do the Twitter XAI. They're losing money, and then he needs SpaceX to bail out Twitter XAI, right? And then he looks over to the competition because remember, he's the AI guy now. And he's seeing that his competitors are beating him in fundraising. This is from Anthropic. They say, we've raised $30 billion in funding at a $380 billion post-money valuation, right? And Anthropic has Claude and other things, and the markets have been talking about this, that basically they're jumping in the lead. Some Elon is sad. This investment will help us deepen our research, continue to innovate in products, and ensure we have the resources to power our infrastructure expansion as we make Claude available everywhere our customers are, okay? Here's Elon's response. Your AI hates whites and Asians, especially Chinese, heterosexuals, and men. That's Elon's response. And he goes on. This is misanthropic and evil. Fix it. So when your competitor beats them, right, beats you, that is, you start to complain about whites, Asians, Chinese, heterosexuals, and men. He also says, this is Elon, frankly, I don't think there is anything you can do to escape the inevitable irony of Anthropic ending up being misanthropic. You were doomed to this fate when you chose your name, the name of the wind. And he's citing a fantasy novel called Name of the Wind, basically. Okay, great. That's Elon. So then Elon's got his fluffers out in full force, right? Trying to keep Elon warm and comforted. Because remember, Elmo's sad today by tweeting out all these videos. And we just talked about this yesterday, how Elon was bragging how his platform is like leading in video generation and in like image editing. That's what he was bragging about. And then you got his fluffer account saying, while my haters are busy talking on Earth, I'll be busy living my life in space. And SpaceX is going to make this real for me. Space station, American flag, whatever, right? And like this is the weird fantasy world that Elon is in. Right? His competitors are beat them. And so Elon's basically solution is, well, how about this, guys? We just make a bunch of fantasy, nonsense AI-generated videos to make me feel happy and live in my alternate reality. Or you have like his pumper people will say, Elon Musk is working day and night to make sure that humanity achieves Kardashev type 2 civilization, right? And they make these AI generated videos of Elon just doing awesome stuff. It's as stupid as it looks. Like, it really is. And this was actually really news, right? Anthropic is raising money. Elon Musk is falling behind. You also have this where basically Rivian is doing much better than Tesla these days. Rivian stock rises 15% as automaker tops Q4 expectations, targets significant production increase. And Rivian, I think, is a real competitor. Every review I see on the Rivians, they're pretty good trucks. They're going to try to come out with something more affordable. I think before they were like at 70, so kind of expensive. That's just how these vehicles are. They're trying to come down to the like 40, 45 range, and we'll see. They're still not cheap, but I'd rather have this than a Cybertruck. The Rivian is better than the Cybertruck. I said it flatly.
How does this raise change the game, at least when it comes to this horse race?
Yeah, well, will it change the game, and does it adjust positioning on a horse race? The reality is, like, what we're talking about is frontier labs that are now at scale. So Anthropic is raising $30 billion. It's a $380 billion valuation, almost sort of double the valuation that it held in its last primary raise. It's probably one where you want to look at who's participating, right? And it is a who's who of institutional investors and the kind of top tier venture capital firms that you would expect when a company gets later stage and is thinking about in the near to medium term going public, right? So GIC, Singapore Sovereign Wealth Fund, Coatue, then you have DE Shaw, Dragoneer, Founders Fund, Peter Thiel's Founders Fund, are called Iconic, MGX from the Middle East, Sequoia Capital.
So what they're talking about here is like all this big money is going to support Elon's competitor. That's basically what they're saying. And this is a year when like these companies, I think OpenAI, Anthropic, and Elon Musk SpaceX thing, who just bailed out Elon Musk Twitter and X, are all looking to go public at the same time. And so this is a fight for money. And I mean, billions of dollars of kind of money. And then when you see that, Elon turns on the TV and it's like, oh my God, my competitor's crushing me. I mean, he's upset. That's why you see it. We'll see some more of this.
And then the strategics, NVIDIA and Microsoft, all of that signals, deeper ties between the AI industry, but also preparing for life maybe as a public company.
Ed, they're making tons and tons of money, right? Or wait, is that a stupid question? And is it more important to really just understand what Anthropic's secret sauce is here to garner such a valuation?
So, I find Anthropic a very interesting company to cover and speak to in recent years. Revenue run rate was about $9 billion last year. It's climbed to $14 billion. They focus very early on putting the Claude model into product form for enterprises, letting all kinds of companies across software, financial services, healthcare do something tangibly useful. And they were less concerned about the consumer, a la ChatGPT, right? It's not really that.
So it's really, really different than Elon, right? So Elon's approach is basically put out non-consensual content, put out his Annie chatbot, and before Elon was really upset, it's like an anime chatbot thing. You can have erotic conversations if you want. And Elon was really upset that people aren't using it more. And Anthropic was more focused on B2B. My understanding, I think they do something like 80% of their businesses with companies and trying to do stuff useful. But this is also creating a big scare in the market, of course, where, man, are people going to cancel software companies, et cetera? And then it's big scares in people like Elon, who's late to the AI game, right?
Equivalent. Now, on the capital side, clearly they're raising capital at a high level and they'll have compute costs and talent costs, but they've also done things differently to how OpenAI has done, right? So OpenAI is trying to raise this $100 billion round, be directly involved in funding some of its own infrastructure. Anthropic has been very closely aligned with the hyperscalers, both Amazon and with Google Cloud Platform, to basically get access to compute through credits and leasing, have a more, I don't want to call it capital light model, because like it's a lot of capital that they're raising, but it's slightly different how they've gone about it.
And so what's going on is it's a fight for chips, it's a fight for data center, building construction. You're going to build your own, or are you going to lease it from other people? And Elon's just losing all the way around. He's not even in this conversation, right? The leaders at the moment are OpenAI and Anthropic. So then what does Elon do nonstop? He basically tweets out racist crap. Like, seriously. This is from The Guardian. They say Elon Musk posted about race almost every day in January. That's what he spends his time doing. And I do see it. I don't cover every single, racist stuff that he says. And someone was saying here that like, if you just looked at Elon's tweets and removed his name, you would just be like, am I looking at, mustache party stuff, white supremacist stuff? Like if you didn't know it was Elon, and it's Elon, but you already know that's what it is. But that's what he does all day. Then he'll have his, fluffer accounts try to tweet out, oh, we're better than OpenAI, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, this is one of his, bot accounts. I asked ChatGPT and Grok, I want to wash my car, and the car wash is 50 meters away. Should I walk or drive? Grok, that's Elon's one. Drive, because the car literally needs to be at the car wash to get washed. ChatGPT, walk. ChatGPT is so dumb. And so they'll try to come up with these ways to prove that Elon's company is better than the other companies. But here's the thing. When the big money and all the big names are going to, Anthropic, you can see what's happening here. Elon is losing. Elon then will tweet out this like crazy crap, X is set of all things, be rational, get real, join me, and we'll be one. Okay, Elon. And then we're turning to illegal things is what it looks like. I didn't know about this. This just came out. Today. Yet another scandal for Elon. Elon Musk X appears to be violating U.S. sanctions by selling premium accounts to Iranian leaders. Wow. And this turns out to be like in coordination with the Trump people. And then you got this today from the Wall Street Journal. The U.S. smuggled thousands of Starlink terminals into Iran after protests crackdown. This is pretty nuts. They're saying that the State Department bought 7,000 Starlink terminals. So again, this would be a Musk company. He's getting this big contract. 7,000 terminals is nothing to sneeze at, right? That's quite a bit. And then you smuggle into the country, and they're going to say, well, we're fighting for freedom, so we have to give Elon Musk money. We have to buy his terminals, and then the Iranian people have to use said things, right? And then we have to fund the operation of said stuff. The counter would be if you really just wanted to, focus on internet access for people in Iran, you could actually fund VPN companies and do it that way. You don't necessarily have to buy Elon Musk terminals, so there's that. But obviously from Musk's point of view, he needs a bailout. So the government and the Trumpers are sending, I guess, these Starlink 7,000 of these things to Iran. That was just reported today. On top of that, Elon Musk is having fights on his platform. And I know it's a lot to go over, but Musk is, I don't know, he's always doing how can I say, crazy conflicts and stuff like all over the map here. This is the creator of Dogecoin, okay? Shibatoshi Nakamoto. I really effing hate the current X algorithm. So he's complaining about Musk's platform. Musk replies, I don't love it either, working on improvements. And remember, Musk always tries to tell you how awesome X is, how ahead everyone is, whereas his competitors are pulling ahead and getting more money. You can see it here. And then even Musk himself saying he's trying to improve it, doesn't love it either. Again, the Dogecoin founder says, in general, any algorithm that disrespects the implicit contract of a social app, you mostly see the content of the accounts you follow. Your content is mostly shown to your followers is a failure. IMO metrics should track what percent of people's posts are shown to followers. So basically, Elon Musk's platform pushes out right-wing stuff, pushes out Elon's posts, etc. Actually, he's been in trouble in Europe and other places for hey, are you manipulating the algorithm and those kind of things. They're talking about X stuff. It says, plenty of slanted news on X, but not that many completely fabricated stories. Okay. Phase 2, X monetization and LLMs lead to a big update in fabricated stories, quotes, photos, and videos. Talking about just fake stuff everywhere now. That's our current world. Community Notes provides a counterforce, but with lag time, because the point is that once the fake story gets out, will the person see the follow-up note? Phase 3, today, as we're talking about now, the majority of sensationalist posts are now fabricated. Great. Grok discredits them instantly, but posts still get millions of views and fool millions of people, hurting the marketplace of ideas, hurting X reputation, embarrassing people who share X posts with their friends, all while padding these scammers' pockets. Because there's just a bunch of fake crap out there. And you'll sadly see it on YouTube also. And I mentioned this before, and I'll mention it again. Just be careful out there. There's a lot of YouTube channels that use total AI stuff. They use fake thumbnails, be it, someone's or someone's kissing, they're not really kissing, or someone's hair is messed up or whatever. It's just all fake, right? And you're like, oh, wow, did they really do that? Did they really make that expression, right? So whenever you see famous people and they're doing these kind of things, stuff like that, oftentimes it's AI and fake. And I'm really against that stuff myself. And it's not just that, it's also in the content. Can be fake stories as well, or misleading, which is very, very common. I'll just say this, guys. When people ask me about these kind of stuff, hey, Chris, did you hear about this fake story, that fake story? If I don't talk about it on my channel, I probably saw it, but I'm not mentioning it because I could spend all day, every day, debunking fake stories, and it just takes too much time. It's a waste of energy, if you guys know what I'm saying. So I think I try my best just to tell you the truth on this stuff, but I'll just be frank. It is real out there. A lot of channels, many that you guys watch, will purposely mislead you. And it's really, really frustrating. And that's kind of the world that we live in. So just be careful out there. Phase 4. The algorithm is updated to penalize instead of reward scammers. Okay. Posters who regularly scam X users with fabricated stories stop appearing on your For You page, crushing their search, crushing their reach. So he's making the case that the algorithm has been updated. We'll see if that is indeed true. Who knows? Grok currently calls these accounts, quote, satire, but there's nothing satirical about a fake headline or deep fake video presented as if it's completely real. It's a scam, and F these people. And I think all of us, just to be frank with you guys, all of us would be more beneficial if we lived in a more truthful world opposed to a, fakey, scammy world like the Musk and the Trumps. That's sort of where we're at right at the moment. And so one of the Musk fluffers is celebrating. What are we celebrating today? The board of directors for Tennessee Valley Authority, the nation's largest public utility, unanimously approved a power use deal that doubles the amount of electricity. Okay, so Trump's, not Trump, but, well, Trump's involved, but one second. But Musk is going to, I guess, get more power in Memphis, basically is what I think is where this is. And you have to understand this. There's been a big fight there locally. Basically, a lot of local people don't want it. And Musk is, skirting rules here. Elon Musk XAI data center generating extra electricity illegally, regulator rules. And so there's always going to be political wrangling, corruption with this stuff. And so this is why then you'll see Donald Trump come out and say, hey guys, we're rolling back EPA. Who needs regulations? Screw the regular people. We need more data centers, more coal power, right? That kind of stuff. So that's what corruption looks like. And then when you want to go further into corruption realm, we got this. This just came out today. There was a whistleblower complaint against Tulsi Gabbard. It turns out it involves Jared Kushner. It says here, the highly classified whistleblower complaint against Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard is related to a conversation intercepted last spring in which two foreign nationals discussed, and I don't think we know which country or countries yet. I read through it. It didn't say. But they were talking about Jared Kushner, right? According to U.S. officials familiar with the matter, senior Trump administration officials said the claims about Kushner were demonstrably false, but declined to offer more specifics about the conversation. And you can read through things like it's in the Wall Street Journal, but basically there was a whistleblower complaint against Tulsi. Like they said, hey, something's up over there. And then they buried it. And I don't think anyone in Congress has seen it to my knowledge. And this complaint's under lock and key, and we're getting more leaks about what this stuff is. And I guess now it involves Jared Kushner, which again represents the corruption in the Trump administration, right? Be it his family, be it Elon Musk or whatever. And then you'll get this kind of stuff also. And you have to understand like how all these things fit together. Remember at the DOJ, the antitrust person was basically forced out at Trump. And so then that's going to allow companies like, Musk companies or whatever to dominate smaller companies, get away with things, skirt laws. To be clear, that's what is from Lee here. To be clear, Mike Davis is leading the effort with Kellyanne Conway, if you remember who that is, to get DOJ to drop its case against Live Nation less than a month from trial. Here he is celebrating the ouster of the head of DOJ's antitrust division, 2 days after the division lost its head of litigation, right? So that was Gale. We just talked about this in the last video, but I just want you guys to see all this together to where basically in Elon Musk's world, Elon Musk, Jared Kushner, right, Live Nation, whoever, buy off the government and basically make life worse for you as there'll be more monopolies, more corruption, and I guess more Starlink terminals so we can bail out Elon Musk and his companies. And you can see it all happening right there. And then the craziest thing is, though, even though Elon's got supposedly tons and tons of cash, he literally tweets out, whoever said money can't buy happiness really knew what they were talking about. So it's just a whacked out world that we're in. And, my advice on this kind of stuff is just to understand there's no way these things are sustainable. And also it's important to live in a truth where we talk about this stuff in an honest way. I know there's lots of fluffers out there. I get it. But, you have to make the decision like these kind of people, do you think we're just haters when we talk about this? Because some of the Musk people are just like, oh, Chris, you're so dumb. You're just a hater. I'm going to go live on my space station. And it's just like, all right, good luck with that. So that's my thoughts. I'd like to hear yours, and I'll catch you on the next video.